Talking of health, the NHS is launching its first fully virtual online hospital in 2027, a service accessed through the NHS app, offering video consultations and remote monitoring for conditions like the menopause, endometriosis and fibroids. The government says it will reduce waiting lists, but others say the idea of virtual wards is worrying and will isolate those who aren't tech savvy. So how do we feel about this online hospital thing? Is it something that might help take a bit of pressure off the NHS waiting lists? Is it something you'd buy into? Is it something you would be comfortable with, Gloria?
I know, I was very comfortable with the over 70 bit, but I'm not so comfortable with this. I mean, if it's an emergency of some sort and that's the only thing you can get, yes, it's better than nothing. For me, personally, the 10-minute block that the GP will give you, there's nothing to beat that. And I'll give you an example. For example, when I lost Stephen, you know, when he passed about a year, or just over a year ago, I had lost so much weight. I was down to 7 stone 1 without even realising it. In a way, I was so concerned about him. And I would not have wanted to talk about other issues about grief and getting over it or trying to get over it, or weight loss, or about your diet. And I wouldn't want to do that on a virtual thing. I want to see the person eyeball to eyeball, personally. That sounds, pardon me, that sounds selfish. But on the other hand, for me, that's the ideal. And in my clinic, and where I live in Kent, I used to be able to get an eye-to-eye appointment very easily. Now, you might have to wait weeks and weeks, and you have to settle for a virtual appointment.
Yeah, I just think that with the virtual, because I'm quite fortunate and lucky that I can get to see my GP. If I book an appointment, phone up on Monday, I can probably see them on Wednesday if it's not anything urgent.
That is very lucky.
But I'm just nervous of the history. You don't know the history of what I've had, and that's why I like to, you know, I go into my GP and she says, "Oh, how are you doing? How was this? And how was..." And that's quite comforting for me, whereas, you know, I don't think you can do that. You can have
but
that proper
then again,
diagnosis
maybe this is for something like, say you're on ongoing treatment and you have side effects, rather than then take up the time of the GP. You can go online and say, are these normal and how do I deal with them? I think it would be good for that, to take
or
you know,
the ongoing
thing, or repeat
prescription.
Yes.
That's the only thing that I
think for that it would be good, and it would save GP time. I'm extremely lucky where I've moved to, that my GP, I can phone them up, actually I fill the format online and they get straight back to me and I get an appointment.
You're very lucky, because I think a lot of people just don't have that.
Yeah, honestly, I can't tell you, because I didn't have it where I lived before. It was like you said, they'd say, we can see you in 2 weeks Friday.
Yeah.
You know, but now where I am, thank the Lord, they are brilliant. But I think for certain conditions, I understand why they're doing that. But like you, the problem is, it's like we have all these lines now, don't we, that we can phone. And the thing is, they give you advice, but because you haven't really seen them, I always put it down and go, oh, what if they're wrong? And I really want someone to see it. Or they say, send a photo, and it's like, it doesn't look like that in real life. You know?
As Brenda said, the history. I mean, it's really important that your doctor knows your history, whatever that may be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they will be obviously able to access those records, but it's like you say, the sort of the relationship that you might have had with the doctor over a certain amount of time isn't there potentially, as much as all your info might be. But I know that, and particularly as we say, going back to those who maybe aren't tech savvy, and maybe the older patient again, how is that going to affect someone that doesn't really know how to do that? You know, it sort of rules you out straight away on that front again, doesn't it?
I mean, that's the other thing you mentioned, prescriptions. I mean, I can't even get a prescription from the doctor's office now. It has to come through the chemist, I think. I've been doing it for, forever, nearly 40 years. Same place, and all of a sudden the girl says to me one day, no, we don't do prescription. I went, well, I've been doing it for 2 years. No, you haven't really. I said, yes, I have. But anyway, in the end, I've got to go through the
she didn't know who she was messing with you, Gloria.
Well, I got the result anyway, so I got the prescription.
And it could be an interesting game of Twister as well, if you're online and you're like, something's going on with your thigh, at the back of your thigh, and you want to... How are you going to show that and ice up your leg and
this is all. I'm glad you're mindful on there, Brenda, because that's very practical way.
A boil elsewhere. Imagine showing that one.
No. Boils?
A boil. I didn't say boil.
I haven't heard that word for a long time as an ailment, but I like it. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. As you say, it might be a way of helping people that it's an easy enough thing to be able to do online. But for a lot of us, still, we just like to talk to a doctor.
It's an extra.
Yes, we can't. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Are we putting a call out for people to send pictures of the boil?
No, no, we're not. Please, don't worry. Or direct them directly to Gloria. Yes.
Send your boils. It's lovely. Brighten up my day, anyway.